All right, welcome to one of my favorite short tracks, South Boston Speedway. You're going to want to make sure that you have the correct setup. You need to download and put South Boston NTRL into your setups folder, and that's the setup you want to run here. I make slight adjustments. I changed the steering ratio from 8 to 10 to 1. And I'm going to run a brake bias of 63 to begin. That's the way I like it. You may like it differently. That's what's comfortable for me. So let's get a look here at South Boston. So coming out of pit lane here, you just want to stay to the left of these double stripes, white stripes here, and there is no cone. There's no cones to drive through. Just use this little stripe on the track to get up. Make sure you stay low so you don't crash into one of your fellow NTRL drivers. So as I warm up my tires here, let's talk a little bit about South Boston. It's pretty easy to get around this track. As with most short tracks and the ARCA car, throttle is a kind of an issue. You can definitely get squirrely using too much throttle input too quickly. There's really only one fast line around here, and the fast line is generally staying high on the backstretch and then arcing it down to the apex of the corner to flatten it out and then back up to the wall again. So I've got my tires warmed up a little bit, so we'll talk about throttle. Once your tires are warm, you can pretty near get to full throttle on the backstretch, especially as the tires wear on. That'll happen. And you're going to see from what I'm doing is that I'm getting off the throttle pretty early, and then I'm applying a little brake input early in the turn, but as I go through the full corner, you can see I am just rolling through the bottom of that corner with no brake and no throttle. Now, as you get more comfortable with this track, you can do a little bit of steering with your throttle. You'll be able to see here from my telemetry how I'm feathering the throttle from time to time just to adjust my line a little bit without having to do a bunch of steering input. Once I set the car down on that turn, you can see I'm just sort of feathering the throttle a little bit, and also note that I am not stabbing the throttle on exit. Now, I mentioned there's really only one line here. You can run a higher line. If you have somebody who is protecting that low line, the yellow line, and you are quicker than them, you can try to use the high line, which I'm showing you here. The only difficulty here is that the car on the low line is going to be pointed for the wall, and you are going to have a slower exit than they are because you haven't finished the car rotation through the corner on the high side, while the low-line car has got their nose already pointed at the wall and they're going full throttle. So I would only use the high line if you feel like the car that you're trying to pass is significantly slower and that you trust them to stay low on the exit so that they don't just drive up into you against the wall. So that's really all there is available on the high line. Now, there is a low line that you can work with. It's only really viable in 1 and 2. So I'm going to show you that low line in 1 and 2, which is one of the better ways to pass someone. So here we come up to the start finish, and you're going to see I'm going to go lower, and you can actually drive on this below the yellow line here. I'm going to show it to you again. Coming up to the start-finish line. I'm going to turn down early, use that, and you can see there's grip there. Like there's decent grip down there. So if you have an opportunity to beat somebody to the low line, that's the place to do it. So you just drive it up on that apron, and then you can power out. Now, you can't do it, at least I can't do it, in 3 and 4. For whatever reason, there is far less grip in 3 and 4 below that yellow line. So you'll see here I can drive this pretty hard, and I have grip. Now watch 3 and 4. I'll come down, and you see how loose I am? See, so I can't do the low line on 3 and 4, but I can on 1 and 2. So just remember, if you're going to pass somebody low in 1 and 2 below that yellow line, you're going to use that inside. Just make sure that when you come off the corner, you're leaving room for the guy you're passing, because he's got to be able to drive too. So that's pretty much it for South Boston. Pit entrance is off of 3 and 4, so just slow down off of 3, drive it in. Pretty easy pit entry. So I hope that helps a little bit, and hope you enjoy South Boston Speedway.